Let's take a look at the senators. So as a reminder, the Senate, the U.S. Senate, is the government body that is responsible for nominating, or at least confirming the president's nominee. So the president will nominate the next Supreme Court judge, and the House, or the Senate, is the body that will actually decide whether that person sits on the Supreme Court or not. And so we did a little bit of a deep dive yesterday onto what the makeup looks like. As a refresher, this is where we left off. So based on what you see here on the left, you're going to see these are the 50 Republicans that thus far we have declared, or under the understanding that they are going to be in favor of moving forward with the nomination process. On the right, we have the Democrats and we have the independents. When I get rid of my picture-in-picture, you'll see we've got two of the independents down there, Angus King and Bernie Sanders, who are going to be very likely caucusing and voting with the Democrats when this reaches the Senate floor. In the middle, we had some of the squishy Republicans. Yesterday, we talked about Susan Collins from Maine, who has indicated, she gave us a pretty clear statement that she was going to be wanting to wait on the nominee. So she supports the process, but in other words, it sounds like she's not going to vote to confirm. She's not going to line up with the Republicans. Even though these three people are Republicans, it's very likely that they are not going to side with the Republicans, at least in Susan Collins' case. We also had Lisa Murkowski. She also indicated that based on what she has seen thus far, she's not particularly interested in seeing a vote take place on the Senate floor. So it's looking like these two individuals are going to be siding with the Democrats. We've got Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. So that puts this number up here at 49. 47 plus these two is going to be 49. Then we've got 50 over here, and we only have 100 senators in the Senate. So what happens if it's 50 to 50? What happens if Mitt Romney decides he's going to vote with the Democrats or the independents? That could theoretically put us at a 50-50 split in the Senate, and the tie would be Mike Pence, who is the vice president. According to our Constitution, anytime there's a tie in the Senate, the tiebreaker is going to be the vice president. So we were a little bit concerned about having that situation, right? It's already highly political, and if the Republican Party needed to bring in sort of the vice president to break a tie, I mean, that just sort of adds to the contentiousness. So a lot of people were really wondering, what is Mitt Romney going to do? What is Mitt Romney? What is his position? He's a senator from Utah. He's got some beef with President Trump. They were at odds all through the primary a lot. Even during President Trump's first term, Mitt Romney has sort of been a thorn in the side of the Trump administration for a long time. So many people were speculating that he would also not want to help President Trump by supporting his nominee. They were thinking maybe he would bow out and he would join Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, but it's not looking like that exactly. It's looking like he actually is going to support the nominee. We got a new notification from him today that is looking like he is going to support. Here is his statement. He says that the senator from Mitt Romney is saying, "My decision regarding a Supreme Court nomination is not the result of a subjective test of fairness, which, like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder," which is very beautiful. Romney's very poetic. He says it is based on the immutable fairness of following the law, which in this case is the Constitution, and precedent. The historical precedent of election year nominations is that the Senate generally does not confirm an opposing party's nominee, but does confirm a nominee of its own. The Constitution gives the president the power to nominate and the Senate the authority to provide advice and consent on Supreme Court nominees. Accordingly, I intend to follow the Constitution and precedent in considering the president's nominee. If the nominee reaches the Senate floor, I intend to vote based upon their qualifications. And so this was kind of the big question that was up in the air. A lot of people were wondering what he was going to do, and it looks like if Mitch McConnell brings this thing out of committee or brings it to the Senate, it goes into the Judiciary Committee and it reaches the floor, Mitt Romney is going to be voting with the Republicans, very likely. And so that is where we're at. It looks like it's going to be something that is fairly easy for the Republicans to actually get to the 51 that they need. So if we go back to our chart, we're going to see Mitt Romney is going to be joining the Republicans. That raises that number up to 51. We have 51 to 49. If we get a nominee in front of the Senate, it's going to be very likely that as long as that nominee is acceptable to those 51 Republicans, all they need to do is vote in favor. They're not going to need to bring in Vice President Michael Pence. All they're going to need to do is just use the senators who are in the Senate, and they're going to very likely confirm that nominee. So this is where we are. This is looking like the Republicans are in a good position. The Democrats are not in such a good position, at least as it comes to this seat.